Hey guys, it's me. So just a little disclaimer about the video you're about to see. What's brought up here might seem a little bit petty at first, a little bit like I'm just coming off as just some kind of entitled little brat. But trust me, I'm trying to convey every means possible to make sure that not only do I not appear that way, but to make sure that the gravity of the situation is realized. First off, I want to say how fantastically thankful I am for this fan base. The constant support, the praise, and the admiration, and the fan art that's starting to emerge. Look at this! I love it! Link in the description of the page of the guy who made it, by the way. And I want you guys to understand that not a day goes by where I'm not thankful for every single one of you guys who's here. Throughout the good and the bad, especially the bad, you guys have stuck with me and it just makes me so happy. I couldn't ask for a better fan base. I mean, I could ask for a bigger one, but not better. Now, on to the video itself. Yesterday I made a post. Here it is right here on the screen. I won't read it all right now, but in summary, I was basically describing that I just felt really drained. No matter what I tried, I just could not get myself to make anything. It was becoming increasingly hard to do anything for my YouTube channel. I had a ton of stuff I wanted to do, but no matter what, I just couldn't find it. In this post, I placed the blame on either my extensive job working for Senator Ted Cruz, or constant infighting going on in the VeggieTales fanbase that people were trying to drag me into, despite the fact that I had repeatedly stated I wanted no part. I was convinced that one of those two was the culprit. But in talking to a very good friend last night, I realized that that was not the case. No, something else was the issue. Something I never expected. Something that I thought was actually a solution to the problem. It's a little show called VeggieTales Abridged. Make no mistake, I love the show, and I love making it. And I'm not gonna cancel the show, there's no chance. So, well, now that I've gotten that out of the way, time to really dig in. This show is easily the most popular one I've got on my channel, consistently ranking at about 1 to 2,000. And that's just honorary totals. Some of the higher ones have, well, this. Which would be great, you know, if I could make any money off of that, but that's a can of worms in and of itself, and that doesn't really pertain to this video. So when you see my channel or hear my name, what do you think of? VeggieTales Abridged, right? What else? I thought so. As much of a blast it is to make the show and see everybody get all excited over it, there's one caveat to the whole thing. I am not VeggieTales Abridged. I'm more than that. I'm not talking about my channel, I'm just talking about me. I've got a lot of ideas and a lot of visions I want to try. I've got a lot of little experiments that I kind of want to have see the light of day. Have them go alongside VeggieTales Abridged. But there's a problem. VeggieTales Abridged takes a toll on everything that I want to do. Let's take a look at those numbers again. Once again, the show is easily my most popular on the channel, which once again, I'm very thankful for. However, compare the numbers of a VeggieTales Abridged episode to almost anything else I make. Live and Reloaded's newer episodes, Gourd Games, the Watch series, the food specials, and even most recently, my review series. All of them get smashed by VeggieTales Abridged. I'm not talking about a little bit of a difference. I'm talking about VeggieTales Abridged is the only thing that gets any sort of decent traction. Take for example the review series. These things are difficult to make. I hate editing. I really do. I'm a person that likes to get up and move and do stuff. I don't like to just sit there at a computer screen for hours on end. Especially not doing something so tedious. But for these, just because I have a story to tell or just because I want to talk about something that fascinates me, I decide to just sit down and do it, as well as the copious amounts of research that go into it. I'm all excited and I'm all proud, and then sure enough, 5 people watch it during the premiere and then only about 100 or so afterwards. A whole day or two's work of just editing alone, all for nothing. It's like VeggieTales Abridged is just this looming cloud lately. This big force that blocks anybody from seeing anything else. It soaks up so much attention that nothing else I do seems to get any notice. Take, for example, The Good, the Bad, and the Monkey, the story of ITV Digital. I spent 3 months researching this thing, going through old newscasts, old newspapers, dodgy websites, old websites, compiling this massive list, which eventually I pretty much cut in half because it didn't fit to the flow of the video. I was so proud of this thing, and I was really trying hard to make sure that people took interest in, well, something that isn't really super fascinating. It is a neat little case study over how one little guy could overcome his terrible brand and rise above it to become a pop culture icon of sorts. And nobody cared when it came out. And nobody cares about it to this day. There was just 5 people at the premiere, and me scratching my head wondering what I did wrong. But it's not just the reviews. As I've mentioned before, it's the other series too. Like when Live and Reloaded and Gourd Games made their long-awaited return, they did terribly. Johnny Black was well received, but in numbers it did very poorly, and still did to this day. Still getting dwarfed by the surrounding series. And Gourd Games, you're kidding, right? I actually had to stop a premiere halfway through because no one was interested. It's because of this that I don't feel motivated to make anything else. I always get these ideas and say, no, it's not worth it. No one's gonna care. It's not VeggieTales Abridged. No one's gonna see it. You're wasting your time. There's no point of making it if no one wants to watch it. And you might say that's just negative thoughts, but it's been proven in practice several times. That's my biggest fear for Light and Dark. Not that we never finish it, but that we do all this work and all of this recasting and all of our blood, sweat, and tears going into it, ultimately for 17 people to watch it. I see the returns, and I see that nobody really cares, so I don't really want to make anything new. And you know what? That's not really fair to those who actually want to watch that stuff, but I just can't help it. Whether I like it or not, VeggieTales Abridged is the only thing that gets any pull around here. But if you think VeggieTales Abridged is getting out unscathed, no, you're wrong. This is having a toll on that show too. It's almost become a love-hate relationship with the show. I love it and the fan base it's created, but there's this feeling of constant resentment towards it. It's almost like it's the thing that's blocking me from doing other passions. Because no matter what I do or what I talk about, it all has to wind down to VeggieTales Abridged. So I tend to put off making episodes, because I don't want to go back. I want to do other things, and if I do this, what is essentially a hobby, for too much, it starts feeling like a job, and this is not a job. For one, jobs you get paid for and don't constantly have some corporation breathing down your neck saying that because you use 12 seconds of their thing, they automatically own your entire 22-minute video. Like I said, it's the giant boulder blocking my way from doing other things. And I don't want to put it off too long because then you guys end up getting anxious. And I don't want that. You guys deserve to see an episode more than every half a year. Remember those days? And thanks to Welcome to the Land of Nothingness being an amazing editor, we're able to get these things done quickly, if I'm not dragging my feet. Something you probably know about me by now is when it comes to my writing, I am an extreme perfectionist. I don't let just okay or pretty good slide. I finely tune everything to make sure it's exactly 100% to my standards. But lately, with VeggieTales Abridged, I've let that slide. I don't want to wait too long to get an episode out. I want to keep this thing going because if I don't keep it going, it feels like everyone will leave. So I make ones that I'm not too satisfied with. Take Uncle Stumbly's Frog Farm. I still like the episode, and the actors and editor did a great job with this one. However, looking back on it, I wish it could have been more. I wish I would have given the script at least one more look at. But it was just draining to do it. And Summer Vacation Volume 3. Again, I wish I would have taken one more look at the scripts before I sent them out. Now there's still ones I'm satisfied with this collection, with Ohio and Illinois being my favorites of the two. But a lot of it just kind of felt the same to me. Larry saying something stupid, Bob reacting to it, Larry explaining it, and then they just talk a little bit about the state. It felt like a rut. And I'm glad you guys liked it, but I wasn't fully thrilled with it. And with this constant, well, let's call it what it is, apathy towards the show, I'm letting the quality slip more and more. And when I try to shake it up and try to do something new, like Larry's radio show or making Wada Wada Lita Lou a little bit more adult, that doesn't go over very well. And if you think I can just escape this constant looming shadow, no I can't. It's not like I can just detach VeggieTales Abridged from the rest of the stuff that I do. Because on things like this is a community post where I ask you guys what review you want to see. Review. This is the top comment. You know that whole video I send around to people who ask when a thing is coming out? That whole
"Be patient. Your time will come soon enough."
That thing? Yes, it is a little bit of a meme thing that I just kind of use to be funny. But there is a piece of truth to that, especially with VeggieTales Abridged. No matter what I do, every single thing has to come back to VeggieTales Abridged, and when I try to do something else, it either gets ignored, or it has to direct back to VeggieTales Abridged. This may seem random, but I have a point. Have any of you out there seen the show Rocko's Modern Life? Well, my favorite episode of the show, Wacky Deli, has become extremely relatable to me. For those who haven't seen it, let me summarize it for you. Ralph Bighead, the son of Ed and Bev, is a cartoonist making the show called The Fatheads. He wants to move on and become a different kind of artist, exploring different things. However, the network is forcing him to make one different show. So despite his best efforts in exploring his new passion, the new show he makes becomes a big hit. Now that part alone isn't really relatable. I mean, I can understand exploring different ventures, but that's not really the case I'm having here. No, this is the part that I find relatable. At the very end, the show that Ralph was working on gets cancelled, so he decides to do what he always wanted to do, make the largest fruit bowl statue. And he does. But only one person really sees it, and they say this.
Hey, not bad. But have you seen Wacky Deli?
No matter how much hard work he did, spending a lot of time working on this big devotion project he's got, it just gets dwarfed by that other thing that he made a while back. Granted, VeggieTales Abridged is still running and will continue to do so in the foreseeable future, so that one little part isn't the same, but that's just nitpicking. That's kind of how I see this right now. No matter what I do, it always gets dwarfed by VeggieTales Abridged or it gets ignored. And it's kind of made me feel unmotivated to make anything. I don't want to make the other shows because I know it's going to get crushed by VeggieTales Abridged, or flat out ignored. Once again, VeggieTales Live and Reloaded, the show that pretty much put me on the map when it came to the VeggieTales fandom. The biggest puller for a long time. Towards the end, nobody cared about it. And when we came back with our big triumphant return, which we kind of had to go on break because of college. Anyways, when that big return did finally come, again, nobody really cared. Little fanfare, small view count, more questions for VeggieTales Abridged coming back. Of which I had to delete a bunch of them because it just made me feel bad. And yes, that is partially the reason why you haven't seen Shush Boy and The Great Divide lately. What's the point? No one's gonna see it. And then I just can't make VeggieTales Abridged anymore because I've just got such a resentment to that. And worst of all, VeggieTales Abridged taking over my life pretty much and not allowing me to do anything different creatively online is having a toll on how I view the actual show. You know when the last time I watched an actual full episode of VeggieTales was? It was for the top 10 worst list. It was Sweet Pea Beauty, in case you were wondering. That was the last time I've seen an actual episode. And I've only ever tried again once since. The day or so after Wada Lotta Leedaloo was released, I tried to watch my favorite episode, Little Joe. I got about 4 minutes in before I quit. I couldn't get this nagging feeling reminding me of VeggieTales Abridged and how it just consumes everything and destroys all else. And I haven't been back to watch the show since. That's why I haven't been talking so much about the show on Discord and Twitter, in case you're wondering. And that's why the Larry Twitter account has gone a lot more dormant lately. I just don't want to touch it. I didn't really realize that this was a problem until last night, when I really kind of started digging into my psyche with talking with that friend like I mentioned. But I really put 2 and 2 together and I realized it's not working for the Senate, it's not all the drama that people are trying to put me into, it's this. The fact that when things are bad, when things are stressful, I have no other outlet but VeggieTales Abridged. That's the one thing I can do and not waste my time. Let me remind you, I am beyond thankful for the fans. 1000%. I know that's not mathematically possible, but that's just how thankful I am. You guys are amazing, fantastic, and I love you all to pieces. So, what am I gonna do? Well, honestly, I can't do anything about that video thing, and I can't really ask you guys to do that. That's not really the point of this video. This video is just to bring up the attention to this issue that I've been having, as well as to give a little bit of a heads up as to what's been going on. But to help remedy this stress, once VeggieTales Abridged Summer Vacation is done, I am putting the show on a hiatus. About a month, maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to spend the entire month of September just doing what I want. Screw the views, I'm doing what I want. More reviews, like the Cans Without Labels thing, that might come in August though. Gourd Games will make a comeback. I do other kinds of little videos, like just things I do for fun. No hint of VeggieTales Abridged at all. Because if I'm going to return to the show that I really do love, and really enjoy making, and really enjoy seeing you guys love, and for those that are on the crew, enjoy making, then we gotta make it good again. Or make VeggieTales Abridged great again, if you will. But the only way to do that is to put it out to pasture for a little bit. Because if this keeps going, we're gonna get into some very bad episodes and some very uncomfortable working conditions. I don't want to keep hating making the show. I don't ever want to start hating the show itself. And the only way to do that is to save myself by freezing the show for a little while. If you don't agree with this idea or you just have other ideas, feel free to comment below and let me know, because trust me, I would love to hear some explanations or some ideas or anything. And once again, I hope this didn't come across as entitled, because this is really how I feel. Just the feeling that because VeggieTales Abridged is the only thing people care about, I can't make anything else, and once the show ends, it's gonna be over for my channel. Because the show won't last forever. There will come a day where the truth has to be fully revealed. Jonah will come out, and that's it. Then everyone will leave. That's how it feels, at least. Trust me, I'd love to be proven wrong. So if you have anything to say, feel free to let me know, because I would love to hear it. Thank you very much for listening, folks. Thanks for bearing with me, and here's to some more great times on this channel with and without VeggieTales Abridged.